The NFL and the Baltimore Ravens today took swift, many people say long overdue action against Ravens running back and New Rochelle native Ray Rice following a video that just came out today, and it showed us what happened inside that elevator, and it showed us in brutal terms him assaulting his wife. Now the Ravens, they cut Rice, and the NFL has suspended him indefinitely from the league, and the disciplinary action didn't come after this video. You see this video here? This is from back in July, where it showed him dragging his then fiance out of the elevator in Atlantic City. Now, we never saw what happened in that elevator. That was until now. Now, the action came after this video of Rice, as you can see here, punching and knocking out his wife cold. This appeared online before the video came to light. The Ravens had suspended Rice, or I should say the NFL had suspended Rice, for 2 games. And that brief suspension, as we all know, drew harsh criticism from many who said that other players got tougher sentences for much lesser offenses, like Robert Mathis, the guy you see there, the Colt. He was suspended for 4 games for taking fertility drugs because him and his wife were trying to conceive. So he got double the penalty for the guy who did what you saw happen in the elevator. Now, the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell, he apologized after that initial suspension for the handling of the incident, saying that he got it wrong. And the NFL announced a new domestic violence policy. First-time offenders get 6-game suspension. Second time could result in a lifetime ban. All right. When you see the video, it was interesting for folks who said, okay, well, you know, it was between the spouse and the husband and everything. Nobody, when they saw that video, thought there was any gray area. It was terrible.
It is awful, and it's unconscionable. And you watch that video, and it's shocking. I mean, we all saw the first video, and I have to say, I live in New Rochelle. This, you know, this football player, Ray Rice, is a hero in New Rochelle.
He's beloved.
Really is.
More than just a regular hometown guy. He comes back. He did a lot.
Absolutely, and that's what I think makes this so hard for so many people in New Rochelle and Westchester and across the country who have loved him. But this is absolutely unconscionable. What he did, you know, we never saw it until now, but to see it like that, and for the NFL, I guess they didn't know what had happened in the elevator. It's hard to believe, but the 2-game suspension is absolutely insanity. And as you mentioned, you've got a guy taking fertility drugs so he can have, you know, he and his wife can have children, getting a I mean, it doesn't make any sense, and it's good the commissioner apologized, but the NFL has got to get its act together, and the Ravens did exactly the right thing.
They knew.
Well, I don't know that.
We didn't see the video of what happened, but he, first of all, you saw the video of him dragging her unconscious from the elevator. Yeah. What do we think happened in the elevator? Plus, he said he knocked her out.
We could have guessed, but Andrew, how many people after he dragged her out of that elevator said he should be, you know, the Ravens should fire him? You didn't say that.
I didn't.
No.
So didn't.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't know for certain, and when you see it like this, it's a different story.
What did people think happened in the elevator? What did people think led to this? I mean, we knew that it was a domestic violence act because he admitted to it. It's only now that we see how graphic it is that we're going to take this action. I think that's PR. That's saving the bacon from the NFL. That's PR move on the NFL's team and the
I don't disagree with you. I think there are some people who thought, well, either she was so intoxicated she couldn't stand up. That's how she had fallen. That's mitigating. For me, though, you are naive out there, I think, if you believe that the NFL, or the Ravens for that matter, couldn't have done a little more due diligence before the initial suspension. We all saw the video of her being dragged out unconscious from an elevator, just like Andrew said. To suggest that they were shocked that he cold-cocked her in the elevator, please. They can find out anything on just about anybody. They have private investigators they've hired. This is a video that everybody knew existed. This isn't some, oh my God, there was video in the elevator. There was video, everybody knew it was. So for the Ravens and the league to now do it. Now, I have another question.
They didn't want to know. They didn't want to know.
I think you're right. Now, how about this? How exactly does the league be able to suspend him not once but twice? He didn't reoffend. Believe me, throw the book out. Never let him play the game again. I don't care. I have no sympathy for Ray Rice. But explain this to me. There's a collectively bargained deal between the union and the league. He was suspended. Made a mistake. They should have suspended him longer, but they gave him 2 games. Nothing's happened in the interregnum other than the video coming out. How does the league, I understand the Ravens cutting him, but how does the league get off suspending him again? That's double jeopardy.
Look, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know the collective bargaining agreement.
You're not going to play it on TV.
I don't know the collective bargaining agreement, but you would think that the commissioner would have the power to step in for somebody who has besmirched the image of the sport to that degree. I mean, and I don't think that's really I don't think a lot of people are going to be asking, boy, oh boy, double jeopardy.
What you said, I mean, I agree with you. The NFL should have known. The Ravens should have known. But if they did, as Andrew said, and turned up their blind eye, this was new information.
Apparently, when Ray Rice and his spouse, well, then fiance, went before the league, if Ray Rice wasn't forthcoming and he lied or whatever, then they could say that they were working off a false pretense.
I got to make one more point if I can. This is domestic violence, and that's horrible, and I'm not. But what about cracking down also on all players who commit any act of violence like this, whether it's domestic or not? If you're going to suspend him indefinitely, how about at least the 6-game suspension that you're going to hand out for domestic violence cases if somebody cold cocks somebody in a parking lot or in a nightclub or
there's
something
a difference
like that?
between hitting. There's a difference between two guys getting in a fight in a bar.
It's still behavior that's detrimental.
Yeah, fair enough. But there's one thing getting in a fight with another guy, and there's another thing beating on a woman.
PR.
I think there's a huge difference between the two. But anyway. As if there wasn't another black eye in sports is what happened with the NBA. You all know about Donald Sterling, but believe it or not, there's another story. Atlanta Hawks owner Bruce Levinson, he's under fire for sending out an email urging executives of his team to get more white fans to the games. In the email, Levinson wrote, "I think Southern whites simply were not comfortable being in an arena or at a bar where they were in the minority. I have been open with our executive team about these concerns." The genius also went on to say, "I have told them I want some white cheerleaders, and while I don't care what the color of the artist is, I want the music to be music familiar to a 40-year-old white guy if that's our season demo. I've also balked when every fan picked out of a crowd to shoot shots in some timeout contest is black. I have even that kiss cam is too black." Dominic, is this, we thought that Sterling, we know that he's a top 10 moron, okay? But do you think more folks in ownership of pro teams from a generation really feel the same way that he did in different language? I mean, it's a little different what he said than Sterling, but still idiotic. And he's already, so I should mention, he's already moving to sell his stake in the team before the league even cracks down on him. But this is two now. Is this just two idiots, or is this part of a bigger pattern that maybe some of us don't want to acknowledge?
It's definitely part of a bigger pattern, but and he has apologized for his comments. He said they were stupid and so on. But I'm a little torn over this, Richard. Let me give you an example. Let's say a black nightclub in the Bronx, right? And I have actually seen situations like this. They won't play rap music, and let's say it's black owned. They won't play rap music. Why? Because it attracts the younger crowd. It attracts the violence. Is that racist? And it's a black owner? No, that's called marketing. And so, as an owner, obviously you shouldn't make comments like that publicly, but I'm really torn about this because you want a fan base that's spending money.
Okay, but Atlanta, more than any American city, arguably, from a demographic
ticket sales
standpoint,
are down. Their ticket sales are down.
So you're trying to, people have, anybody who wants to go to a game should be able to go to a game. He's upset because too many blacks are buying his product.
No, that's not what he's upset about. He's upset about that so many blacks are buying his products that it's not enough to make the ends meet, and not enough whites are turning out. Right. I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying. Maybe he shouldn't say that publicly. But if I was the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, I would have exactly the same attitude.
Here's the problem with this, though. If there was some data to suggest that what he was saying made sense, but there's not. No. You know, who buys more rap music? Young white people. So, I mean, doesn't he have anybody in the back office who can give him some data to help him make these cases? I don't get the data. I agree with you. He has a right to try to sell his tickets. He's probably not selling tickets because the team stinks. But beyond that, I mean, beyond that, where is
I don't want to see so many blacks kissing on camera. I don't want to see blacks being pulled out of the stands. I want more white music for the 40-year-olds. I get where you're going. You got to market it. To have a diverse, let's say, or as broad a spectrum of people coming to the games to fill the seats. But, I mean, first of all, you're in Atlanta, okay?
Right.
In Atlanta, where there's more black affluency, Richard, on a per capita basis.
We're in New York, and I know you're a much bigger basketball fan than I am. Go to a Knicks game and see what they show you.
You don't think the music they're playing at the Knicks games? You don't think that I'm seeing?
I know for a fact that the music appeals to both. They don't just do the black thing. They do the money thing. They do the green thing. The cheerleaders reflect Whoever's going to spend the most money. Richard, if I was the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, I would do exactly what that owner. The bottom line is green. It ain't black or white. Maybe you shouldn't say it publicly, but the bottom line is making money.
I said in an internal email, by the way. It was only leaked publicly.
Well,
it's not like
he's
it's
an
not
idiot.
Like, it's not like he said it. It's not like he went to the
What
loudspeaker.
difference does that make?
It's just well, because we're saying it publicly.
I understand wanting to earn money, and he has a right to do that. But can somebody tell me why any point he made makes sense?
Because
you don't want to turn part of the fan base away from coming to the game.
No,
It makes a lot
absolutely.
of
But
sense.
he's saying to get the fan base, you need more white cheerleaders. Where's the data to suggest that? Seriously, you think that's true? And where's the data to suggest that? That's what I'm saying. You know, he has a right to make money, but he should use a little, you know, let's back it up with something. Where's
How about
the data?
putting a better product on the court?
No, I
And
can
don't you
agree
think
with
more
that.
people are
I
going to
can
come?
agree with that.
Because I
If
see
they
too many
won a
black faces in
tournament-
the audience. I don't want to go to a game. Please. You know, come on.
Richard, the name of the game is green.
Yeah,
It
the
ain't
name of
black
the game
or
is
white.
winning and losing. Magically, you win, they show up. When you don't win
That's
and you
true,
have
too.
a bad
Go
product
to a
on the
Knick
court.
game this year and see if you see basically a white production.
Maybe Richard should take us to a Knick game.
That's a good
And we
idea.
could do like
You're
a-
going to see Carmelo Anthony. You're going to see an all-black basketball team, but everything else is going to be white. And you look at the fan base, and it's mostly
But
white.
I'm telling
and
you,
it's spending lots
there-
of money.
I have to go to a break. When we come back, I'm very curious what Jeannie has to say about this one. A female cabbie service,
Oh, boy.
all-female cabbie service for the female demo. It's coming to the city. Is this a good idea? We'll talk about that after this.